Well, good morning, everybody. Was having little tech problems, so I'm going to try this again. Little poor sound quality after all the effort to get a good mic and everything. So let me know if this sounds good. I'm going to do a song, and then if we're still having trouble, I'll figure out another plan. Down in some lone valley, in a lonesome place, where the wild birds do whistle, pretty Sarah, I bid you adieu, and I'll dream of pretty Sarah wherever I go. My love, she won't have me, so I understand. She wants a freeholder who owns house and land. I cannot maintain her with silver and gold, nor buy all the fine things that a big house can hold. If I were a merchant and could write a fine hand, I'd write my love a letter that she'd understand. I'd write it by the river where the waters overflow, and I'll dream of pretty Sarah wherever I go. Oh, I'll dream of pretty Sarah wherever I go. Well, good morning, everybody. We were having little technical problems. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to plug and unplug one thing. And I'm hoping the sound is better. So please give me that feedback if it's sounding okay or if I'm still having an issue. I did just get a good green light from the John C. Campbell Folk School. And that's what this is. This is Morningsong. And it is one of my favorite mini gigs over the years. It's a little early. It's normally at 7:45, and I was saying in my other live attempt that this has been one of my favorite gigs to do over the years, partly because we're still in that liminal time in the early morning when we're between consciousness and having just been asleep. And there's a bit of the divine in that to me. And there are many cultures around the world who celebrate the morning by singing in groups. And this is a long-standing tradition at the John C. Campbell Folk School, which is in Brasstown, North Carolina, a beautiful place in the Smoky Mountains. And the folk school is designed to educate adults in a non-competitive setting, mostly adults. They also have some programs for youth and children. Um, and it is based on a Danish model. The folk school was started in 1925 by Olive Dame Campbell, and her husband John C. Campbell had passed away recently. Olive Dame Campbell was a song collector, and her character was loosely based in that movie Songcatcher. So that's a little bit of a way to learn about her. So the folk school has beautiful courses, and as I was saying earlier, don't walk to your browser and check it out, folkschool.org. And also for this program that I'm doing right now, I am being compensated by the John C. Campbell Folk School. So if you feel like making a donation to the Folk School, that's a great idea. And Tipper Presley is going to be posting a link in there about that. So I'm just making sure we're good to go and all is well. That song that I just sang is Pretty Sarah from the Ritchie family. And that has Scots-Irish origins. The idea behind that is the thwarted lovers. She is from a higher class, higher educated, wealthier family, and he is likely an indentured servant and loves her, but is blocked from marrying her. So a lot of these old folk songs are about social barriers in different ways. Jean Ritchie was the youngest of 14 children in a family that was known as the Singing Family of the Cumberlands, a very important folk singing family in American music history. Jean Ritchie was a great role model and mentor and friend to me and my husband Elwood, and she had a connection to the folk school. Her sister May, her older sister, was married to Leon Deschamps, and he was the Belgian architect and landscaper and stonemason who built some of those beautiful buildings on the campus that are made of stone. So here's another Ritchie family song. This one is called the Mayday Carol, and I've been enjoying singing some songs lately that are very springy. Tied up with a silver string. All that I need is a bit of silver to line it well within. My song is done and I must be gone, for I can no longer stay. God bless you all, small, and send you a joyful May. This, by the way, is the mountain dulcimer, and that is one of the classes that I have taught over the years at the folk school. I've also taught banjo. Oh, I'm going to do one more song with the dulcimer. I've also taught banjo. I've taught freestyle flatfoot clogging. Look at my shoes. These need to be polished. I've taught overviews of Appalachian song, dance, and instrumentation, and I've been working at the folk school. I go there about once a year, sometimes twice, since the early '90s. So I think, or mid '90s. So I think about 27 years, and that's kind of cool because I realize I have been there for a good chunk of the almost 100-year history of the folk school. So that makes me feel very proud. All right. So as I was mentioning, one of the traditions at the folk school, part of the regular schedule is the half-hour morning song every morning. And it's a beautiful way for folks to gather and sing together. To me, it's kind of like a non-denominational type of prayer in the morning. And I remember when it used to be in the living room of the Keith House, and then it moved into the Great Hall of the Keith House. And I just love that building. That building has great soul to it. It's one of the original buildings of the folk school, with that beautiful wooden floor where people have danced for years on it. And so singing together is a beautiful way to start a day. And that's a thing in many cultures throughout the world, to sing in the morning. And so this is an old Irish song, one of our greatest hits over the years. It's called The Spanish Lady, and it has a numbers chorus that you can sing to. You're going to sing numbers backwards by twos. So good luck with that. Have another cup of coffee. As I was walking through Dublin City, about the hour of 12 at night, it was there I spied a fair, pretty female washing her feet by candlelight. First she washed them, then she dried them over a fire of amber. About the souls. She had 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 9. She had 19, 17, 15, 13, 11, 9, 7, 5, 3, and 1. I stopped to look, but the watchman passed. Said he, young fella, now the night is late, and away with you home, or I will wrestle you straight away to the Bridewell gate. I got a look from the Spanish lady, hot as a fire of amber. About the souls. She had 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 9. 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. She had 19, 17, 15, 13, 11, 9, 7, 5, 3, and 1. She had 20, 18, 16, 14. 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. She had 19, 17, 15, 13, 11, 9, 7, 5, 3, and 1. How'd you do singing along on that one? I'm going to take a peek at the comments, make sure that I am hearable. Good, okay. I'm not hearing anything that the sound is off. All right, so as I was saying, don't walk to your browser and type in folkschool.org. Check out the Folk School. Go if you can. They are opening up soon, and they have been very careful and very studious about safety. I was there, believe it or not, teaching 3 people, socially distanced and safe, in October. That's the only live thing I have done since the summer. Live as in person, because this is live, just to be clear. So, and feel free to donate copiously to the Folk School as well. It has been one of my favorite places to go throughout my career, not only as a job, but as a beautiful, nourishing, spiritually satisfying place. And the community, the spirit in which it is run is wonderful. And throughout all the years I've been going, 25 to 30 years, the historical mission, the spirit of it is always present. So it is a very interesting place. Very beautiful, on hundreds of acres of that rolling mountainous Smoky Mountains land. They hay the field right outside where I teach. Lovely place. So I always have to do this song for the John C. Campbell Folk School's Morning Song, because this song is called The Morning Song. And it's written by my friend Daniel Dutton in Somerset, Kentucky, and he's written many, many very compelling songs. He wrote this when he was out in the desert in Utah, and when he woke up early one morning. Let the song of joy awaken the sleeping land. Through the shadows dawn comes streaming, the early birds begin their singing, and the dew upon the webs of light quivers cool and sweet. Son, I pray, let my life begin today. I promise I will go with beauty round me. Dark nights and cloudy sorrows return at last to the sunny skies of love. In troubled dreams, fold your wings and vanish. All the fears fade and pass. You told your heart there is no answer lies, cannot hide. Time is a gift, receive it grateful. Son, I pray, let my life begin today. I promise I will go with beauty round me. Dark nights and cloudy sorrows return at last cannonball rising. Hail, hail to the morning. Let the song of joy awaken the sleeping land. Through the shadows dawn comes streaming. The early birds begin their singing in the dew upon the webs of light. Quivers cool and sweet. Son, I pray, let my life begin today. I promise I will go with beauty round me. Dark nights and cloudy sorrows return at last to the sunny skies of love. Well, every song has a multitude of stories. It has the narrative of the song itself, whatever the story is in the song. It has the narrative of where the song came from, the people that it came from. When you think about some of these old songs, the old ballads, they're hundreds of years old. And many of them came from Ireland, Scotland, and England. And they went out into that diaspora of Anglo-Celtic people throughout the world, and you find those old songs right in the mountains of where the John C. Campbell Folk School is, the Smoky Mountains. And the third type of story with each song is the personal story of how the singer learned it. There's a song called Loving Hannah that I learned in Ireland years ago when I was traveling. My family had a home in West Cork for 15 years. I collected cassettes back then of traditional Irish singers. And I got this cassette from the singer Mary Black. And I learned almost every song on it. And one of them was a song called Loving Hannah. It's a little bit like Handsome Molly, if you know that song. And then about 7 years later, after I learned that, I went to the Heinemann Settlement School in Heinemann, Kentucky to attend Appalachian Family Folk Week. And I was determined to meet Jean Ritchie, and she was there, and that's why I went. And I made some friends right away that are still my friends to this day. And one of them was singer and banjo player and multi-instrumentalist Carrie Norris. And I started singing Mary Black's version of Loving Hannah. And Carrie said, I sing that song. And I thought, okay, well, here's a situation where I'm singing an Irish version of an old song and she's singing the Appalachian version. Well, Jean Ritchie got wind of this, and she said Mary Black had learned the song from her. Jean Ritchie in the 1950s went to England, Ireland, and Scotland on a Fulbright for a year. And during that time, she made a record. And this song was on the record. The song had come from her family in Eastern Kentucky. And before that, it had traveled with her ancestors, probably from North Ireland. They were Scots-Irish. So when you think of the peregrinations of a song, this is a marvelous example of how the song came to Eastern Kentucky, likely in the 1700s. Jean, many generations later, traveled to England and Ireland and Scotland to explore the roots of her family songs, made a record. Irish folk singer Mary Black learned it. I went over there from Rhode Island, learned the song, and brought it right back to its source. I went to church on Sunday. My love, she passed me by. I knew her mind was changing by the roving of her eye, by the roving of her eye. my love, she passed me by. I knew her mind was changing by the roving of her eye. So that's a little example of the life of a song. I have sometimes jokingly said, oh, to be a fly on the wall of the life of a song. So I have 2 more short things for you to do this morning. And again, I invite you to donate to the John C. Campbell Folk School. And there is a way to do that in the chat. If you want to learn more about me, I'm moving back here now in case you're wondering what I'm doing. Let me adjust this camera a little bit better. If you want to learn more about me, go to my website, atwaterdonnelly.com. Also, you can always just literally Google my name and my website will come up. And I'll be back at the Folk School teaching live in October. If you go to atwaterdonnelly.com, you can look at our schedule. We're doing all kinds of interesting things coming up. And I'm going to move this a little bit too. So the reason I moved back here is because now I am on my dance floor, my little portable dance floor in my office where I've been teaching and presenting. Because I don't know if you heard, but there's been a pandemic for a year, and so that changed our musical habits a lot as far as performing, but we have thrived all these years doing things virtually. So I'm going to do something called a little French Canadian foot percussion, and I simply have some rubber clogs on right now, and I like the sound, and then I'm going to change into my tap shoes and clog for you. So the final song I'll do is an Almeda Riddle song. She was a ballad singer in Greers Ferry, Arkansas, and she was born, she passed away in the 1980s, I believe, and she was born in the very early part of the 20th century, late 19th century. And she's a fascinating ballad singer, so look her up and listen to archival recordings of Almeda Riddle. Here is very interesting song that she played and sang, and fun to sing along to. There's a little bit of nonsense in this song. I'm gonna marry who I